Let's take a look at your videos. You've been submitting them through the forums down below, and we are going to be taking a look, trying to see what can happen to get people who click on your videos to stay on your videos. But we also have a whole bunch of questions we're going to be answering along the way as well. We might even talk a little bit about titles, thumbnails, things like that. So be sure, whether it's your video, your channel being looked at or not, that you're taking notes and trying to learn from the advice we're giving all the different channels we're going to give today. Joining me on this fun adventure is going to be Viper. How's it going?
Not that Viper guy again. Oh my goodness, he's back.
He's
hey, back. Hello, Dan. Hello, vidIQ Nation. How y'all doing today? What's going on?
Welcome. Are you excited? You ready?
I'm ready to roll. Should be a good day.
All right. So for anyone who's new, the way this works is there are two forums down below. Pick the one you feel like you fit into the most. Whether it's the gaming form or the non-gaming form, please just choose one of those forms and fill it out to the best of your ability. Make sure you get your channel link in there the right way. I already saw some channels that did not post their channel link, and I was not able to hand select them for the first half of the live stream, which was unfortunate because it seemed like they had some very interesting goals and questions. So be sure you're filling that out properly. Once you put your channel in the bucket, it could be randomly picked in the second half of the live stream. We clear this form every single week. So if you've submitted last week, you will need to submit again. So that's it. That's how it works. And we already have, like I said, a whole bunch of channels we have pre-selected for today. So let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see a bit better. And we will go to the channel that submitted first on the non-gaming form and take a look at their videos. I believe on the form itself, they had said that they were just listening for some advice. So we'll check out Yancymane, who it looks like, Viper, a tech channel. I'm seeing all kinds of fun tech products that they are presumably reviewing. And I thought we'd take a look at the latest video, see what we can see.
All right, let's go.
Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today I'll be reviewing some random cases for your A14 5G. Alright, let's jump into it. Make a bow, make a bow, make a bow. Oh, you see the name on there. The Slim Fit. Alright, I got the blue one. You see right there, Slim Screen Guard. I think the best feature about this case is going to be this
So it's 30 seconds. I got to say, I have anxiety about one thing. I've never seen this many notifications on the top of a cell phone before. I have my cursor scrolling over it, but my cursor's not on the screen today. Do you have this many notifications? I couldn't do this.
Sometimes, but not normally, no. But that's the life of Android. That's how Android groups their notifications. So yeah.
What are your thoughts? First 30 seconds, in all seriousness, video quality itself.
I'm more concerned about the video, to be honest with you all. This is supposed to be a case review. It says check out the cool A casing for your Galaxy A14. So, first off, I'm thinking that you're going to actually have the casing, but it looks like you don't actually have that casing that you're talking about. So that's a little weird. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't do this video the way you're doing it. Oh, you do have the casing. Okay.
I was worried about that too. I was like, oh, I guess just going to look at cases on Amazon, but they do have the cases.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. 30 seconds in, I have no idea if you have the casing. So that's a direct flag for me already. I'm gone. And I've even got called into this flag myself a year or so ago when I did a video about a product that I didn't have because it was unreleased yet. But when people found out I didn't have the product, they kind of got mad at me. But why are you not showing us the case like right off the rip? Why are you taking us through this handheld Amazon page? Like you can put that Amazon. I mean, I'm going to assume that you don't know how to use your editing software, or maybe you're not using editing software, but there are better ways to present that Amazon page than just looking at the phone. So I will work on trying to improve your editing. But yeah, I need you to make sure that me as the viewer understands and knows that you have the cases like within the first 10 seconds. Because if I'm looking, like, it's funny because you got the thumbnail here, right? And the thumbnail's like this white screen with the phones on it. And that's also the first 5 seconds of your video. And Ralph, I'm like, wait, what the hell is this? Like, I'm like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, at first I thought it was some type of scam channel, man. Because I'm like, I've seen these before, and usually they're scam channel. So I would definitely rework how you do that introduction and make it more clear to the viewer that you actually have the cases that you're going to talk about. Because this intro This makes it seem like you don't have the casings, and yeah, we don't like that in the text space.
Yeah, we're about 40 seconds in where we start seeing packaging coming out. And I gotta say, like, a lot of viewers aren't gonna take the time to scroll through your video to double check that you
Nope.
have the stuff. And they see this 18-minute video, and I'll be honest, like, I don't feel like the host is very enthusiastic. And so at first it kind of feels like, okay, there's a really good chance it's just going to show me, like, the video is only going to show me this Amazon screen the entire time. They're not actually going to be holding the cases and seeing how they are, how they fit the phone, all that fun stuff. So I'm already getting some red flags there. And then I see the length of the video, like, oh, I think they're going to go on at length too on these Amazon pages. So like people are just getting really mixed signals right out of the gate with the content. So yeah, it's imperative that you give the viewer confidence. Like, your title and thumbnail are strong, I would say. Like, you have the phone on the thumbnail, and you have check out these 8 cool cases for your Samsung blah blah blah. So like, it has search, it has intrigue. Like, you're doing all those things right, but I think a lot of people are probably clicking off in the very start of the video because they don't realize that you have the stuff. And I would also say a little more enthusiasm is going to go a long way here. So like, oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Like, when we see a static screen like this, we kind of start to worry because it doesn't feel necessary at all to have this in the video. Like, if you don't want to have your face on camera, that's okay, but I want to see all the cases laid out in front of you. I want to see your hand glide over them. I want to see a little bit of like emotion in your body language. If you're not going to be on camera, you can still do things to like convey emotion. And it's like, I just spent X amount of money buying all these cases. We're going to go through them one by one to see which random Amazon case for this phone is going to work for you and your budget or whatever. Really quick, get in, get out. What are we doing today? Let's start doing it. Case number 1, boom, throw it on the table, and then just get into your bullet points. I would say, for as far as case review videos go, and I don't watch a lot of these, but 8 cases shouldn't take almost 20 minutes to review, in my opinion.
Yeah, Dan, it depends. It depends how you review them, how thorough you are. It can definitely take 18 minutes if you have 8 casings. That's a lot of casings, but
depends. So you feel like the average viewer, I'm literally asking, you've done videos like this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is long as someone who's looked for phone cases and done research before, but you're saying like your audience, you feel like this is a good length.
I'm saying that I can see how he got to that length.
Okay.
When he has 8 cases. If you go through each case individually and give us the pros and cons and what it can do and what it can take 18 minutes. Okay. But yeah, that's probably too long for a case video, in my opinion. But it can happen. It's doable.
No, fair enough. Yeah. So those were my thoughts. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to throw on before.
Yeah. If this user is watching, if you want to have a good reference for how to do case videos and accessory video correctly, check out my friend Technically T. This dude, he is the gold standard right now on YouTube as far as accessory reviews. Dude's about to hit 100,000 subscribers pretty soon. But yeah, this dude's been doing it for a long time, and he's definitely got the whole case video thing down. So check him out.
There you go. All right. Well, I am glad to see they are taking the time. They are making the investment into their channel, buying the products that they're going to be talking about. So that is good. And I think I will say, like, just to add on a couple of extra positive notes here, their lighting for this videos, like, it seems really nice. I can see everything really nice and clear. I would say, in my opinion, you are zoomed in quite a bit. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I feel like the framing you're working within kind of makes it hard to keep the case fully on the screen at all times. You see how, like, as I'm scrolling through, it's always like just a little bit cut off. I think we could afford a wider lens, zoom out a little bit just so we can see more of the case at all times, but that's a nitpick. I'd say overall, the production quality is of a good standard.
Yep.
All right,
up, man. Keep going.
So that's pretty much how this works. We check out channels one by one who have submitted on the forum. We have the first gaming channel that submitted on the gaming forum now that we're going to check out, and they are called Single Player Universe. So it seems by their channel banner they're doing gaming news, things like that. So I imagine talking about a lot of different games. I wanted to see what just an average video for this channel looked like, and it kind of feels, if we were doing a channel review, I'd probably tell you, kind of feels like you're all over the place. There's a lot of different things going on, but not super worried about that today. Today we're just focused on video quality more so. And in this particular person's case, they said, how are my titles and thumbnails? I want to know what to do to improve. So I do think it'll be worth talking about that a little bit. But let's start with the video, and then we'll come back to your thumbnails and titles. About a 10-second stinger there, and these are a relic of the past, as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to YouTube and how people present themselves, especially gaming, they always look kind of cool, very cinematic, but not what people are expecting when they click on a video about Metal Gear Solid. You're asking the question, is Snake back? So you're getting people hyped up, and then you're holding the content hostage behind this 10-second stinger. And we haven't even heard the intro yet and things like that. These should go away as far as I'm concerned. And I understand people pay money for these, like the people who use them like them. I'd say if you're going to have it at all, the outro, you could put it at the end of the video so it doesn't hurt your beginning retention. But in the best case scenario, people are going to just try and skip this intro by clicking along your timeline. In the worst case scenario, they might click off the video altogether. So keep that in mind.
We Metal Gear fans have been waiting on Konami for a revival of the Metal Gear franchise, and today this is what we will be discussing. And also later on we'll talk about a rumoured PlayStation showcase that could happen before E3. Hey guys, Single-Player Universe here, please like and subscribe, and let's dive into the video. So, is Snake back?
Okay, so for actual like video starting, they got right to the point. They said, you know, these are like the things we're talking about today. We're talking about this, so then we're going to talk about the Sony thing, this announcement, blah, 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 blah. They did a very quick call to action for subscribe. I would have done that later in the video still, but didn't take very long. So I do feel like they are following some of those bits of advice that we're kind of giving all the time. What were your thoughts?
All right. So I'm an old guy. I am 42 years old. I've been playing video games since Nintendo, the OG Nintendo. So I am very passionate about video gaming in general. Even though I don't do content about gaming, I am passionate about gaming. What I'm not getting from this person is the passion about gaming. You got the monotone voice and different things like that. And maybe that's how you vibe, or maybe that's how your delivery is. And I also see that you have 33 subscribers. So I'm going to guess that you're a fairly new creator and you'll grow into a better delivery, a more energetic delivery. But I need some energy. I need some passion. I need confidence. This is YouTube. This is gaming. This is a very passionate thing. And if you don't believe me, just go on Twitter or online and say which system you prefer, and you'll find the passion real quick. But I need to know that you are in this, man. I need to know that you're deep in this, yo. Like, I'm just not there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not feeling that from the creator. I need that passion about gaming, and I'm not getting that here.
Yeah, there was, I think you put it best when you said it was a bit monotone, a bit, you know, it's just not a lot of like this would be exciting news, I think. I don't play Metal Gear, but I understand the excitement around this character. So I kind of imagine the approach to be just a little bit different, and like, is Snake finally coming back to the Metal Gear series? Blah, blah, blah. I'm so-and-so today. We're breaking it down. Like, just, I know that's not for everybody, but I always say, no matter who you are, there's always a version of you that can be video presenter you know, like someone who just takes their personality and cranks it up a little bit. And I guess what we're accusing this creator of is not doing that. And it comes with time, it comes with practice. And this is just our opinion. It's not necessarily that we're the authority on this. So I'd probably say all those things. Trying to figure out how to sum up that point while going into the next bit. I think we should listen to just a little bit more because they are getting into the actual announcements. Let's like try another 10 seconds of the video.
Well, according to a VGC podcast, Konami is making a big appearance at E3, that they are planning to reveal the rumoured remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. So I'm going
to say the next thing I would be working on for this creator is audio quality. That is what I'm identifying as like the first thing I'd be investing in, like maybe a microphone, or it could just be maybe the microphone they have is good, but it's not being edited the correct way. The volume's too loud. I'm not sure what's going on. It's really kind of tough to understand.
Yeah. As Mike's in the chat, I think this person might be sitting a little too close to the microphone. Yes.
Too close.
Too close.
So a couple things there to work on off the jump. already. I want to talk about their questions that they asked us. They talked about their thumbnails and their titles. And I think we can just look at this video as an example. The first thing they did in their title, I think was right. Snake is back. MGS3 remake reveal at E3. Then we have another title. Pre-E3 PlayStation Showcase in the works, ? So this doesn't really need to be here, even though you do talk about it in the video. I think this adds to your title needlessly. It just makes it needlessly long and confuses the video. I think you should lead with the big story. The big story, in your opinion here, is that Snake is back. So let's hit that point home really, really hard. And you could just do a simple and more. If you want to make sure you're honest with the viewer and you're going to talk about a lot of things and you want them to go into that, you know, knowing those things. So Snake is back. MGS3 reveal. Does the Metal Gear Solid community often use the term MGS to describe the game? I'm literally asking. I have no idea. If I just type MGS into search, we do get Metal Gear Solid popping up. That is a good sign. So you must have done something right there because I was led right to MGS videos. That's perfect. So you know your community. I would say shorter title. Boom. And, you know, thumbnail wise, that's the next thing we need to talk about. Title, shorten it. Thumbnail, too much negative space. Underneath Snake is back, it's just a big white void. And it's all text. You have this image on the left here that looks like it came from some, what's it called? Like promotional art materials or whatever. And on the right is just text, text, text. I think if you were to ever put your face in these videos, this would have been a good one for your reaction, like a look on your face that was like mind blown emoji, you know? Other imagery you could use, I would try and figure out something else you could do to make this thumbnail pop a little bit more, because at present, it just feels a little bit slapped together, I guess. There's not a lot here. So MGS Snake is back. I just want to see if anyone else is talking about this. You are. We see your video here. There are pictures of this character from more recent games. You could have maybe used one of those and like put an arrow pointing to their face going, are they back? You know, things like that. But yeah, things to make the thumbnail pop more. I would have done some thumbnail research to try and figure out, you know, what's going to work a little bit better. I would say that about all your thumbnails. You kind of rely on text as your primary like go-to for making your videos, like communicating that point that you're trying to get across. And I think in a lot of ways, it's not working. Red text is really hard to read, so I'd avoid that at all costs. But you just kind of tend to use promotional art from these games, and then you slap some text on it. So yeah, overall, thumbnails need to be improved, but maybe in another word, could be simplified, because these seem very busy thanks to the very, very detailed promotional art you're using. So one simple image of one character and 1 or 2 words of text that with a font that's easy to read, and I think you'll be going already in the right direction for improving your thumbnails. And it probably won't take you much more time than it took you to make these thumbnails.
Yep, I think Dan summed it up.
Cool. So we're already getting some super chats. Now, the way super chats work is every so often we'll stop and we'll answer some of your questions via super chats. They do not get you a video review, but we do like to take some time and talk about these different topics before we go back to reviewing videos. So Shelly is asking, how should we arrange our tags? Would it help that the most relevant tags according to vidIQ tools be on the be the first on the list, or does the order not matter?
It doesn't matter. I used to think it does, but it doesn't.
I would say in 2023, if you're asking questions about tags, you're asking the wrong questions about YouTube. Tags are every year, I think, less and less valuable. And YouTube themselves have said tags are great for misspellings of words. And I take that as common rephrasings of like the same question too. So like, Snake is back. Is Snake back? Is Snake returning? Is Snake coming back to Metal Gear Solid? MGS? Like, that's how I do tags today. I try and find different ways people might type in this title, different ways they might misspell it, MSG instead of MGS, and I try to include all those in my tags.
Hold on, pause. No. Do not put tags in your description. Do not do that. That is actually against YouTube. Is against YouTube terms of service to stuff your descriptions with keywords and whatnot.
What
you
you're
got
referring to?
Tag. What's that?
what you're referring to is when people just put the tags and commas exactly like in their tag box.
Yes.
So literally list of words that makes no
Yes.
sense to a human.
Don't do that.
What our tool tries to encourage you to do is make sure your title, your description, and your tags for SEO purposes have similar phrases in there. So like in your description, you might get an alert from our tool that says, hey, you know, you're using this tag, but it's not in your description. That doesn't mean just put it in your description and walk away. That means like, hey, maybe I can fit that phrase into my description of this video. And so it's recrafting your description. But again, even though our tools are telling you to do this with tags, we understand that YouTube has evolved since that tool became relevant, and it is less relevant now. We are way more focused, and we will tell you this. Our AI tools are where it's at. Our AI title generator, daily ideas. Like these are the tools that we believe are going to help grow your channel. But the tag tool is more of a legacy tool. It still works. I use it every day when I'm uploading videos because I like getting those different spellings of keywords in there, but I like doing it quick. I don't want to think about tags. Tags should be the last thing you're ever worried about. So don't worry about the order of tags. Don't worry about if you don't even put tags. I think it's a box that should be filled in, but if you don't want to fill it in, we've seen plenty of examples of videos with millions of views that have 0 tags.
Yeah, somebody in the chat was saying, put your tags in the description. I just wanted to make sure, no, we don't do that. Don't do that.
You should put the biggest keyword phrases in your description if you're going for SEO, but they shouldn't just be laying there. Make them readable to a human. You know, that's really what it's about. We'll go to the next one. It's 6 a.m. in Australia, but had to get up to say YouTube for... Oh, thank you. Sorry, I saw YT. Thank you for the review last week and the work you do in general. Live it, I was asleep for it. Quick question, episode number on progress series and context for an old school RuneScape type audience. Thoughts, Dan, or still no? Juicy Beat, yeah, thank you for submitting your channel. We reviewed this one last week, and thank you for getting up early. Announcement, by the way, coming soon. Later today, I'll talk about the new time for live streams on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But yes, so this channel is playing a game where the community uses episode numbers quite a bit and quite effectively. It's a progress series, and if you miss episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're jumping in at 5, it's always good to give people a little bit of a previously on so they don't feel like they have to go back and watch. But for the people following along at home and trying to follow your progress through the episodes, even the largest creators in that space will use episode numbers. My advice to you, if you feel like you should do that and you're just following the trend in your community, which you should do, just put it at the end. Stick it at the very end of the title, and don't let it take up too many characters because it is the least relevant thing, even to the people who are following the series. Once they're caught up, they're caught up. It becomes irrelevant information. You post a new video, they're going to get it in their box. But some people, the reason I hem and haw about this so much is because people let episode blank, season whatever, sometimes that fills up a lot of their title. And we'll look at a channel in a little bit that's making that mistake, and I'll show you what I mean. Sometimes people put a lot of time into those really long identifiers of what season and episode you're on. And I just want people to avoid that. You're a more functional title that just says what the video is about is way more useful than episode number 2. You know, yeah, for the most part, a lot of people don't care about that.
And I don't know how Dan feels about this, but you don't need to put the episode number in your thumbnail. Just put, like you said, put it at the end of your title and leave it there.
Yeah, put it somewhere if you feel like you need it, but it doesn't have to be in all the places.
No.
What can creators do with monotone voices? What can creators with monotone voices do to improve? I would say I have a voice that risks getting pretty monotone. Practice.
Yeah.
That's the best thing.
Practice, like somebody in the chat said earlier, practice in front of a mirror. But it's just repetition, doing it over and over again until you feel comfortable delivering it in front of a camera. Also, confidence. I don't know how you all feel, but I feel like when I know more about what I'm talking about, I'm more confident. And if I'm more confident, that comes across in the way I deliver the information to you as a viewer, as the audience. So it's all about you getting confident in the information that you are relaying to your viewer. And I think that delivery, that style, that authority, that authoritative tone will come with time, and that will kind of make you more passable as a presenter of content on video.
And then we'll do one more before going back to channels to review, but we will come back to your super chats. Thank you for all of your super chats. It would be cool if vidIQ AI could help with tags and wrong spellings and stuff. I have suggested this because I agree. So who knows? Our tool is ever evolving. I will pass along your feedback because I'm also a champion of this idea. All right. Thank you for your questions, your super chats. Like I said, we will come back to those, but we need to go back to checking out some of your videos as well. So let's go into the next pre-selected channel. It is going to be Unbox with Karen, and they had a question: improve my click-through rate. Well, click-through rate is going to be title and thumbnail discussion again, but that's totally fine. I still pick this because I think we can give a lot of advice there, but this is video reviews, so we are going to look at your videos first and kind of see what we can see.
This is an absolute rip-off, but the box in general is really good this month, so come and check it out with me. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're having a look at the BLACKO. So BLACKO is an Australian subscription box. It's $22.95 a month, and you generally get to do an opt-in, but this month you didn't get to choose any of the products. They just sent me whatever. So let's get into it and see what we've got. And this is the February box. Looks all filled up this month.
Almost 30 seconds. I remember this channel now after seeing their set. And I don't know if we saw them on channel reviews or we saw them in this live stream, but I will say their intro was really nice. I liked that it was like, this is a ripoff, this is this, let's get into it. It was just kind of like, as soon as the video started, we were already like getting those vibes.
Yes. I love the first 5 seconds of the video. She's like, this is a ripoff of the box and calls. that made me want to watch more of the video, but that's when we started running into the problems here. How can I say this? I love your energy. I love the way that you're presenting what you're about to unbox, but there is no scene diversity, if you can understand what I'm saying. There's no zooming in and out. There's no cut. There's no B-roll. It's just you standing there talking. And when you have us look at the same thing for an extended period of time, we tend to get bored because our attention spans are very small. So I would suggest to you working on your editing, zooming in and out with your editing software, shooting some B-roll. Maybe you can do a top-down view, or maybe you could do a separate clip of you unboxing the box and showing us within the box from a different angle. There are a bunch of different ways that you can include scene diversity, but I just need some more diversity in this particular content, because just looking at this same scene, it's not doing enough for me.
Yeah, I felt the same way when you were holding up 2 items. You start with you, widescreen, but then having the camera pop in artificially to each thing you're talking about, little things like that is what Viper's talking about.
Yeah.
And that always helps. I know it's like a little thing, and that little thing can take a lot more time when you're editing your video, and now you're having to add that all over the place. But that little thing can really help break up the very static image that we're seeing right now, where it's just you in front of camera and there's not a lot of B-roll going on. I don't know if that comes into play later. It does. A little bit, you do have some, but there's a lot of time. And one practice a lot of people say is like, you should be trying to change the image on the screen about every 8 seconds or so. So that's where that can come in. If you have no B-roll, you can just do what we do all the time. We zoom in on our face. Like we'll zoom in the camera, we'll zoom out the camera, we'll zoom in the camera. Sometimes it'll do a slow pan or a zoom on our faces. And all it is the same camera set that we have. We're just, it's a little more wide, and we just crop in and play with the animation there a little bit. So those little things can help break up a video in a very good way, just to keep people's attention, keep them focused on the content.
Mm-hmm.
So it is cool to see this creator again. It does seem like they are taking a lot of our tips on hand, I would say. And I want to see their titles and thumbnails. So they did say click-through rate. And when you ask questions about click-through rate, automatically that means you're asking about titles and thumbnails. Why don't I get more clicks on my videos? People have not seen what's in these videos yet, so we got to get them to click. Going off of the latest video, which basically is like the intro, which is great. It's great to see your title and your thumbnail supporting the hook, so you're planning your videos out really nicely. All that stuff is great. I just think the image itself is it's lacking something. It needs more. I wish there was more words I could use to describe what I mean, but like it's very thumbnail. I think your thumbnail is very thumbnail.
No. I think the word you're looking for is bland, probably.
Maybe I'm trying to say bland.
Yeah.
It's not that you're using arrows, you're using text that's easy to read. Like it's like if you put our advice into a machine and had it spit out a thumbnail based purely on that advice. But I guess it's missing that one thing to crank it up to the next level. Drama, something. Maybe it would be, in this case, you holding the box, and instead of saying great ripoff, it's you just pick one and you go ripoff ? Now it's you holding the box with the word ripoff and then the arrow pointing to the box. So think about your thumbnails in that sense. Like, how could I make this a little more, I'm going to say clickbaity but we're not deceiving anybody. We're just trying to up the drama 15%, 20%, you know, just trying to do it enough because it's not dishonest. In the video, the first few seconds we hear you say, this is a ripoff, referring to something. But if this item came in that box anyway, then it's not wrong. Then you could almost say the box is a ripoff. Maybe that's what the question mark is for. So that would be my advice, like a little more drama. And I think the font you're using is just kind of boring. I don't know. I don't want people to get too fancy with their fonts, but this is like the Impact meme font, I think. I don't know. I'd be trying a different font, I think.
Also, I would suggest you work on making your title more clickable, like the unboxing Bella Box February 2023 mixed feelings. That doesn't really do enough for me. That doesn't really make me want to click on it. Put like, instead of putting mixed feelings, like I would have put ripoff there, you know, put ripoff, or put needs worker, something more definitive. That's what I'm looking for. I need more definitive title from you about how you are emotionally feeling about these unboxings, because again, as I tell you guys all the time here, we as humans, we immediately connect with emotion and emotional content. That's just how our brains are wired. So if you make your titles a little bit more emotional, we're gonna pay more attention, I promise you.
Yeah, I completely agree on the titles. Very, again, just straight to like exactly what I'm going to do. But I would have said maybe if you're going to say mixed feelings, and I like the idea of just putting ripoff there, but that should be at the front of the title too. The most dramatic thing, the thing that like, what do you want people to see the most? It's the thing that's going to get them to click, right? I think your opinion followed by what you're giving opinion on is probably a better formula for a title than thing I'm doing plus opinion stuffed at the end.
Oh, I like this. I love this one. That is awesome. That is an awesome title. That I
Oh,
like.
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't pull this up because I'm really bad at preparing things. I should have pulled up our title generator, but this is a tool at vidIQ that you can use, and you know, yeah, that it can give you prompts just like that. That was a great title suggestion. So definitely check that out if you have vidIQ. There might be a link down below. It's a secret though, so if you find a link down there, you can click, and it happens to give you some kind of special deal. Don't tell anyone about it, because we could get in a lot of trouble for doing that. Like the company's trying to make money and we're just like practically giving this stuff away. So like, just be careful when you see links like that, just keep them to yourselves. In any case, Unbox with Karen, we do hope that that was helpful to you. Love seeing the progress in your channel. I do remember your channel. I think your set just kind of reminded me of you. So it's a very like, it's good to have like that imagery that people can see and go, ah, yes, Unbox with Karen. So yeah, keep it up. Keep improving. And best of luck. Happy creating. We will look at another one, and then I want to go back to super chats. So it is Isaac Carding. Now, this is a shorts creator who says their shorts are flatlining in views, even though they get over 100% viewed. So with shorts, we always tell people, like, if you can get people over 100%, that's going to be really helpful to you. That means they're watching more than once. So Viper, one look at these. I don't want you to be too shocked. Okay, I'm just going to prepare you now. You're going to take a look at these and you're going to feel like you know exactly what's happening. And I'm also going to tell you you're probably not wrong.
Okay. Please tell me that is not the consumption of the content, the competition. Please tell me that's not the composition of the content. Please, God, no. Oh, it is. Oh. All right, I've seen enough. I've already seen enough. So it is absolutely incredible to me that your shorts are getting 100%, given the fact that you're not using the entire aspect ratio and you got the whole blurry effect going on. I don't know. Maybe this is just a me thing, but anytime that you include like a blur effect for an extended period of time, there might be people that have a disability or something that might be off-putting to them. So I would be very careful about how you all use different effects like blurry, or if you have like too much lighting or too much light changes and things like that. You know how you get those warnings at the beginning of the movie that there might be some photosensitive effect going on. So you really got to be careful about how you implement these effects into your content. But one of my biggest pet peeves with shorts, and I've heard you guys say in the chat that it's not always possible to use the entire aspect ratio. You got to figure it out. Like, it is 9:16 for a reason. Figure out how to make it work. Turn your phone, turn your cameras. Figure it out. We're creators. You are creators. create something, okay? But this is not an optimal viewing experience. It's just not, especially with the blur effect on the top and the bottom. So I need you all how to figure out how to use the entire screen real estate to make the best viewing experience possible.
Let's see. Okay. Because it was a go-karting channel, I thought it'd be funny and put Mario Kart. But video games get filmed in 9:16, right? So, or 16:9, sorry. So it's always like comes down to you to crop it properly. But these Mario Kart channels are doing that. Now, there are black bars in this, but it's not nearly as bad as the one we were just looking at.
Right.
A lot of creators will do the split screen too.
This game ripped off Nintendo and got away with it. Mario Kart is a racing game that is almost identical to Mario Kart, but
So yeah, like they split the screen, and then when they're not splitting the screen, they cropped in. So we don't get to see what's happening on the left and right sides of the frame, but it's okay because we don't really need to. I would argue if you were filming your shorts, you might be using a GoPro and maybe you don't know how to get it to switch its aspect ratio. Maybe it's, you know, what you're doing is just easier. Maybe you're repurposing this content to long form. I don't know. But it's really important to find a way, if you're going to post shorts and you want to be a shorts creator, to get this to fill the screen, because you've made the screen as small as I think you possibly could for YouTube Shorts. And so I think here's what's happening for this channel. I think what they're doing on YouTube is really interesting. I think doing go-karting in this setting is something not a lot of people get to do. You have to live near somewhere that like offers this kind of like facility for you to race around in. This is pretty cool. So I think the people who are willing to watch in this aspect ratio are watching your video all the way through. And if something crazy happens, I think they're maybe watching it twice. So I think that's where you're getting the 100%, but you're seeing your views flatline because I think the majority of people see content that looks like this. They don't really think too much of it. It's not a personal thing. They just kind of swipe away. They just kind of move on to the next thing.
Yep.
And it's because it already looks unappealing. It just because you're not using the space on your phone correctly. So keep that in mind. Try to see if you can find a better way to angle this. One suggestion I might have, and I don't know what the rules are at these facilities, but maybe you can get I don't want to say a selfie stick, but basically something that you can attach to the go-kart that would hold your phone, right? Something that's shooting in the right aspect ratio away from the go-kart. So you're not doing this first person. Maybe you're kind of like zoomed out behind your head or something. So that way you can zoom out with your phone more and people can get a better field of view. Get creative with how you position your camera is basically all I'm trying to say here. Because this thing that you're doing with the helmet cam, I assume it's a helmet cam, is giving you not a lot of room to work with here. So try to get this better, because I think you are going to keep hitting a ceiling with these views that's very low, but you're doing something pretty cool. Like you're doing something unique in shorts. And I think it could do even better, especially because when people do get a chance, as you said, you're getting over that 100% retention mark.
No, I'm not saying that blurry effect is bad. I'm saying be careful how you use it and how long you use it, because it might be off-putting to some people. But
my eyes kind of want to naturally like go there. Like, I think it's because the screen, like this is not at my eye line either. Like my eye line is closer to the top of the screen. In this case, I'm watching on a monitor, I guess, but like, I don't know, having to like look down at the content. It just everything about this experience to me is like not super fun. But I think they're doing something so cool. That's what's like, you know, that's what's getting me.
Yeah.
And they are doing widescreen videos, long form videos. So that's probably, they're trying to repurpose what the footage that they have. And I think it's not being used the correct way. Like this is obviously a better experience because we have way more screen real estate to deal with here. Like this is great. I'd say camera quality could be better. I know the lighting in there isn't great, but I just think it seems kind of hazy, and I don't know, that I would be looking at eventually like improving your camera quality if possible.
So before we go on, quick, go ahead then.
I was just saying, what a cool facility. Like this is really unique to them. And I think
the indoor go-kart racing is awesome.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to go far if they can continue to improve this. I would like to see a story told. Like the video kind of started and they were just racing. What if they were walking up to the facility talking about who they're going to be racing, what the stakes are of the race? Are you doing some kind of quote unquote race mode that's different than other ones? Like, are you putting different challenges in place or things like that? Like you could do a lot with this, but I think just straight up racing with no commentary or anything else, it's just kind of like, okay, cool. But try to, see what you can do in terms of like telling a story, You know, like take this content and like level it up. I think you could do a lot.
Indeed. And it's cool that we were just reviewing a creator that was doing short, because as I told you guys yesterday on the live stream, if you are not incorporating YouTube Shorts into your content strategy, you are missing out. I read something yesterday that right now YouTube has 50 billion daily views for YouTube Shorts. 50 billion, not million, billion views every day for YouTube Shorts. Why would you not want to get in on that? Again, as I said yesterday, I'm not telling you to go out there and build a short channel. What I'm saying is that even if you do long form content or something else, throw a couple of shorts in there every now and then just to get new eyes on your content. Because again, YouTube shorts is a lot like playing the lottery, in my opinion. Yeah, you put them out there, they might not do well, but what if one of them hit or a few of them hit? That's all that traffic coming into your channel that will not only check out your short form, they'll check out your channel as a whole, and then maybe they get more interested in your longer videos as well. But you have never why can I not talk today? You would have never gotten those eyes on your channel if you didn't take the chance putting out some shorts out there. So I used to be anti-shorts. I told you all, I used to be anti-short. But now, seeing how hard YouTube is pushing shorts out there, I myself am doing shorts on my channel a little bit now. So I would encourage you all to experiment. Again, you don't have to go crazy with it, but experiment with them. See what they can do for you.
We have a whole bunch of super chats. I want to thank you guys again for your super chats. We're going to take a break from looking at channels for a minute and answer some of these. So Philo Rogue says, thank you guys for your help. Sadly, I won't be able to watch live when the schedule changes as my job doesn't allow it. Should I change my stream title and thumbnail midstream if the direction shifts? Okay, so Philo Rogue, you are here all the time. You're always going to super chat. So shout out to you. Hopefully you can catch these when they are VODs and you're not, even though you can't watch live. We do greatly appreciate you, and we appreciate that the time change is not going to work for everybody. I'll go into more details about the time change soon for those who don't know. Your question is, let me tell you this. If you streamed on Twitch, I would say yes. Changing the title of your stream when your subject of the stream is going to change would make a lot of sense. For VOD purposes, video on demand, it's not super great. Because what happens is if you leave the stream up after it's no longer a stream, and people click on it, but you changed your title and thumbnail halfway through, it's going to be about a whole different thing at the beginning, right? Like that title and thumbnail doesn't become relevant to the next half of the live stream. So a better way to do this, it's a bit weird because YouTube does streaming different, but the better way to do this would be to literally schedule 2 streams in one day. So you do one stream about the first thing. It has its own separate title thumbnail. Then as it's wrapping up, you tell your viewers, like you can use the redirect feature and redirect to an upcoming stream rather than somebody else's stream. And you could say, I'm coming right back in just a couple minutes. I'm going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to be over here. I'm putting a redirect link. Here's the link in the chat. I'm going to be over here and you can come watch me play blank game or do this other thing that I'm going to do. Now you have 2 different VODs. And they have their own separate buckets, their own titles and thumbnails. I've seen other streamers do this, and it's not very common because streams already last a long time, and people are usually really tired and don't want to continue on after the first one's over. But that would be my suggestion. Schedule 2 streams, and then stick to that schedule. So if you give yourself 2 hours in one and 2 hours in the other, just like try not to go over so that the next stream starts when it's supposed to. It's a bit of a weird one, but I've seen people do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on running ads for your YouTube channel? Is that against YouTube? Also, I have a lot of tags in my description. So running ads for your YouTube channel.
No,
don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's not against the rules. It's just a waste of money. Really. And the way I describe it is this. When you see ads, what is your gut instinct? It's ad, go away. Ad, go away. Ad, go away. Skip. Yes, thank you. Because you clicked on a different video about a different thing, and there's an ad in front of you, and you have to watch it because that's the world we live in. I don't care if it's your YouTube channel or an ad for toothpaste. I want it to end so I can watch the thing I tried to click on.
Yes. This is why I have YouTube Premium, but on my vidIQ work account, I do not have YouTube Premium. So when I'm watching videos on our vidIQ channel, I have to sit through ads, and it's very annoying. And the one thing I am not doing is looking at what video the ad is. I don't want to hit the button so I can skip it. I'm counting down the timer on the right side that 5, 4, 3, 2, and 2 against the 1, and I can hit the button and skip. I'm skipping it, yo. I'm done. So don't use that. Don't do that. Just make your content and let yourself grow organically.
Yeah. And as for tags in your descriptions, I would end that practice. You don't need to do it, and YouTube has said that it's not something you should be doing. So definitely, you know, I wouldn't say you need to go back through all your old content, especially if you got a lot of videos. If you're still new to YouTube, maybe just go and delete them. But just going forward, use the tag box, write a nice description that a human could read, that makes sense, that talks about what's in the content, and you know, good titles. You definitely don't need to be tag stuffing the description. We will run into any issues if the same video posts on YouTube on TikTok. Okay, will we run into issues? Sorry, I read that wrong. If we post, no, this is a practice that we do. I've done this myself. You can totally do that.
Yes. The only thing that I would say is make sure that if, let's say, you post a TikTok and you want to post that same TikTok on YouTube, make sure that the TikTok watermark is not included when you upload it to YouTube.
Yep.
You want to post those videos natively to those platforms. You don't want to post it off the platform to another platform because none of these platforms want your watermark. They don't want it.
Right. YouTube is putting, as you saw in the last one, YouTube is starting to put their watermark on shorts, and TikTok's going to have their watermark. What's kind of crazy to me is how often people take their own watermark content and use it on the other platform, because your video doesn't start out watermarked. Just use the raw clip that hasn't been watermarked yet and upload it separately to both places.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do that. So yeah, definitely that's the only thing that could get you into any trouble. But the only trouble there is YouTube is basically saying we're not going to monetize that content. So, you know, just make sure there's no watermark. You should be good to go. Okay, is a progress series of videos effective for shorts? Wouldn't do it, but you could. But yeah, here's the thing. So one of the shorts channels, I haven't made this a secret, that I like to watch is called That Little Puff. It's about a cat who cooks and does all kinds of things. And spoiler alert, the cat isn't actually cooking, but it's pretty hilarious. They use like paws on a stick to make it look like the cat is doing things. It's great. Anyway, sometimes they do a 2-part short. And I hate when they do it, because what happens inevitably is I see the first or the second part completely separate from the first or the second part.
Yep.
So a lot of times I see a part 1 and they'll end the video with like a timer that says, wait for part 2. But YouTube never surfaces part 2 ever.
No.
I never get to see it. Even though I avidly watch the channel, I never get to see part 2.
You have to remember, you all, there are so many shorts in the short feed that even if you do a video series with shorts, there's almost no chance that your shorts are going to show back to back in the feed. It doesn't work that way. So like Dan said, I wouldn't even waste time doing that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm just trying to make sure we haven't missed any super chats here. Cool. We got another one here. Just wanted to say I love the live streams. I've learned so much from watching them. Where's Dan's cat? Thank you. Appreciate you. The cat is asleep. Thank goodness for that. And then we got one here from Philo Rogue. Question: Mr. Beast is hiring. The part of the application process is sending his crew a video. Should I put the video I make on my channel? No NDA was signed. Wait a minute. Wait.
Why not? So they're making a video for Mr. Beast. They have no contractual obligation to keep that video exclusive to Mr. Beast. So yeah, if there's no contractual obligation, then yeah, absolutely put it on your channel. Why not? Yeah,
they're probably expecting that people are going to put their content they're already using on their channels as part of their application process. I assume it's a company based around YouTube. They're trying to hire other people who know about YouTube. So if you haven't signed anything that says, hey, don't do that, yeah, you can totally do that. It's your content.
Yep.
I'll say this. If a company that doesn't make you sign anything gets mad at you for doing that, maybe you dodged a bullet. One more here before we move on to channel reviews again. We had one video that did very well and brought in thousands of subscribers, but since then we've been losing subscribers as to be expected. Losing subscribers, I would say people are going to unsubscribe if the thing they subscribe for is no longer present on your channel.
Every time you upload content, you are going to lose subscribers regardless. That's just how it works.
That's true. Like, yeah, we can look at any video that we post, and sometimes a video is just a reminder that we're still here, and people are like, "Oh, I don't watch that anymore." Unsub.
Yep. But the other thing is that if you're the video that brought in thousands of subscribers is different from the content that came after it, that's another reason why you might be losing subscribers, because you are making content that they did not come there for. So,
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, without looking at your channel, it's kind of hard to know exactly. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight there. There are more super chats. We will get to those a little bit later
Before we
on.
move on, real quick, Dan, I want to go back to the super chat about the short being in a playlist or grouping them together. Now, I told you guys that YouTube won't serve them back to back, but what you can do, I think, at least on iOS, is you can put let's say you make a short, a 2-part short, right? So you got part 1, part 2. What you can do is, I see this a lot on TikTok, you can put part 2 as a comment in part 1. And I think right now this is only available on iOS for YouTube, on the YouTube app for iOS, but you can put that follow-up short as a pinned comment from part 1. So that way people, if they're invested in part 2, they can go down to your comment section and say, oh, there it is, and they can click on it and watch it there. So that's something that you could try too.
There you go. Oops. There we go. Okay. So still reviewing channels. We will come back to super chats. Thank you for all your super chats. Let's go to the next pre-selected channel here. It's going to be DETOURS in all caps. And their question was this: pick any cruise video, help with the hook. Any idea? Smash mine and teach me to take it up a notch to stand out. First 30 seconds or less.
We're savage when you need them.
So this person is looking for the honest truth. They don't want us to hold back. So let's go ahead and check out your latest video and we'll see.
I'm back in Orlando and I booked the cheapest cruise I could find on the
I can't hear you. What? I thought we were just gonna like go for it.
Dan, they waste no time. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
SC Marabila for $275 with port fees and taxes.
You know how when the president does an interview and they're standing in front of a helicopter and everyone makes fun of them because no one can hear what they're saying, and so they have to use captions. I'm getting those vibes from this. Like I get that you want the cruise ship in the background and all that makes sense to me. It might just be the quality of microphone, but it is very difficult to hear what you're saying because you are standing by a machine or just a helicopter. I don't know what it is, but 'tis loud.
Yeah. You need a better mic.
That's what's next.
Like the audio quality from person to music is completely night and day. I liked their energy though. I think they did have like really good energy when the video started.
All right, so here we go. We got boarding pass and passport ready. That's what MSC wants. And we're gonna go get in line to go through security. Through security. Now we're trying to get to the people that give us our key. Oh, Twitter. And we were on the boat and it's 1:47.
I like this. I like the beginning. Clearly, you told us that you booked a cheap cruise and you're about to go for it. The only critique I got, as Dan already alluded to, is the microphone quality. Get yourself a lavalier mic or get yourself one of those clip-on microphones. You don't have to break the bank for, but we need better audio quality like immediately.
You could use like a shotgun mic, like pointed like off your camera, pointed at you. Like there's all kinds of different things. Try and look at like when people who do like theme park tours and stuff with the mics they're using, because like some of those people are in the loudest settings ever and it still sounds like perfect. You know, you can hear a little bit of what's going on, but it's not distracting at all. I'm gonna say, if we're really to break this video down, the storytelling, I like videos like this when someone is bringing you on a journey with them. That's why I like watching those types of travel videos and theme park tours and things like that, because I like someone just bopping around from first person perspective. If I go on this trip, this is how I'm going to see the world. So I kind of like that a lot. I will say though that you're including too much. Like going through security is like, I would just like, don't remind me I'm gonna have to do that. Like monotony, you know. Get into like the next shot I liked was this one here where you're sitting on whatever the heck this is and you're looking at the cruise ship, you know, and that's like, what a perspective. Like that's so cool. This ship is massive and like seeing it from this angle is pretty cool. So like it's okay to like shoot some video of you kind of waiting, but the really hard cuts, now we're gonna walk through security, now we're going over here, now we're like it's not flowing very well, and it's just you're showing me things that you know, just kind of monotonous, that make the travel experience less fun. So that's kind of what I'm feeling this first 30 seconds. We can keep watching a little bit though, see what else we see.
And we were on the boat and it's 1:47. We got here at 12:48. We started the process.
The music kicked up and got a bit loud. Just a bit. Now it's hard to hear you because of the crowd and also the music.
59 minutes. Bingo. All right, so we got on at 6. We're going to 12. Find my room. It's kind of like Las Vegas. And on the day one, we're not doing elevators, so it's going to take too long. All right, so we're going up 6 floors. My bag only weighs like 34 pounds. No big deal. This.
Okay. Yeah, Dan is absolutely correct. We don't need everything you're doing in the video. Like, we don't need to see you going up upstairs. We don't care. Get to the exciting stuff. When you do vlogs like this, just obviously, like I watch a lot of the day in the life videos that tech creators make, and they're similar to this. But what they do is they only include the highlights or the things that are interesting or they feel like will be interesting to a viewer. We don't want to see every single step of your day or of your trip into the boat. Like we know what happens when we board a boat. We don't need everything. So just try to figure out how to cut some of the fluff out, basically.
Yeah, and it's not the longest video in the world, but I mean, I feel like by now, when you said we're going to be going to our room, and I'm definitely not taking the elevator because it's way too crowded, like, I just wanted to see the room. You know, if there was something cool along the way, then shoot it. You know, maybe it's transitional scene, maybe you're not talking over it, it's just like cool mural you saw or whatever. And then show me the room, show me all accommodations, like, okay, this is where we're going to be staying for the next week, this is what this is, look how cool this is, look at the view I have, this is all for $275, I can't believe it, you know. And you're always reiterating that this is the cheapest cruise you can find. But yeah, we're getting like so many, we're not even a minute in, we've seen a lot already, but it's just some of the stuff we've seen just isn't very exciting.
Yeah.
Let's go to the outro. We haven't talked about outros today, and I want to see how this person is ending their videos. This is kind of a cool like breakdown of the price.
We are back in port in Orlando, and we're looking at the Carnival Magic and NCL Prima. So recapping, $159 for the actual cruise, about $115 for taxes and port fees, so $275. $60 for round trip to get to the boat, so that's $335. $40 in gratuities, so that's $375. $40 for the internet package, so that's $415. And then I ended up spending $24 on the boat the whole time I was here, and that's the whole trip. I think it's a hell of a deal.
Go ahead,
bruh. What happened to $275, man? I feel hoodwinked. I feel bamboozled. I got switched up on, yo. Where's the two? That's not $275. I mean, I know I'm not the greatest mathematician in the world, but $439 is not $275, Dan. I feel cheated out here. Yo, what's going on there? What's happening here?
It's the same thing the cruise line did to get them. You know, it's like, hey, the ticket's only $275, and they hit all the other fees there, made it double the price.
Oh man.
Funny. I'm gonna say, like, I didn't hate the price breakdown at the end, but it did kind of feel like tedious. I would have liked to just see all those numbers on the screen together, maybe like all said and done, and then all the numbers start popping up. I spent this much, and maybe you could even point out like $275 my butt. However, still a good deal, you know. Like that would have been kind of a funny way to end it. But that aside, you've done the classic end screen mistake of giving me 3 different options. I will click none of them and move on. I think the best thing to do is one option. And then if you've planned out your video, you know what that's going to be ahead of time. So you can say, by the way, I took a cruise, you know, it was absolutely perfect in every single way. And you can watch that video right here. And you point to that video on the screen. And that's the only thing to click. No subscribe, no random short, just one thing. And telling me why I should click that is going to really improve your click-through rate on your end screens, which is going to get you a lot more views across your whole channel and increase your watch sessions, which means people are definitely going to get recommended your content the next time they come onto YouTube, whether they subscribe or not. So just an end screen practice that we like to talk about quite a bit. I even have a video coming out about this soon, and some of the other ways you can, you know, get more of those watch sessions going. So stay tuned for that. But overall, listen, like someone who's willing to spend this kind of money and go on these kinds of trips and take a camera with them and all this gear, like this is someone who is really going above and beyond for their YouTube channel. I think they're doing a great job overall, but they did ask for some really dead honest ways they could improve, and I think we gave them a lot to work with.
Get a microphone immediately. Get a microphone immediately, okay? Do us that solid. Get yourself a microphone. If you listen to nothing else that we said about this video, get yourself a microphone quick.
Yeah. So, hey, best of luck to you, DETOURS. Thank you for sharing your channel. Congrats on over 3,000 subscribers. You are doing a lot of things right, and excited to see where you take your channel. All right, we have another pre-selected channel here before we go back to super chats and then random selections. So that is going to be a Formula One channel. It's called Peter on Pole, which is a great name for a racing channel. And they said, are my topics interesting enough? I'm trying to find that gap to fill the market. So they're trying to stand out in their space. They have over 500 subscribers, and I want to click on the content, and we are going to, but with this is the channel I was alluding to earlier that uses really, really long episode numbers in their titles. And that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. So their series is called F1 Drive to Survive, Season 5, Episode 4, Season 5, Episode 3, Season 5, Episode 2. So, and then it always says reaction as well. So they're reacting to this. All of this stuff here is only relevant to who? Your regular viewers, and barely. So that should be in the description. We don't need to know what season and episode number, certainly not the beginning of your title. Your title should start with the most interesting part, which is always truncated. In this case, it's like 2 names and like a Haas F1 team. So like all the interesting stuff in your title is like stuffed in there at the very end. And that doesn't give me a reason to click on it. And so that's where you're struggling the most, I think. Your titles and your thumbnails, but especially your titles, really need to be reworked, completely overhauled. Let's look at the latest video.
Welcome to Drive to Survive Season 5, Episode 4, Like Father, Like Son, question mark. What a very strange title Netflix decided to go with on this one, because this is all about Mick Schumacher. And when you hear the name Schumacher, of course, you think of the legend.
Okay, I apologize. This is not the name of their series. I think they're talking about a Netflix series.
Yeah.
It still doesn't need to be all of that.
No, it does not.
But I thought this was their own series. Okay, forgive me.
Icon, the myth, Mr. Michael Schumacher, indeed. Netflix love a bit of Gunther Steiner, don't they? He is box office. That's why every time he shows up on Drive to Survive, he gives you so much in every single episode. His demeanor, his attitude, and yet again, we are still talking Haas business.
So my new title recommendation for this creator is Opinion About Episode, Drive to Survive Reaction, S5E4. That's the full. If you want to make sure that information's in there, S5E4 is the shortest way you can truncate that. But I want to see your opinion, then what you're reacting to. Does not need the word reaction in it. Just doesn't need it. It's obvious what it is. But that would be my new title recommendation. I'm hung up on titles. What do we think of the quality of content itself?
All right. This is probably going to be a nitpick, and that's fine. That's why they submit their channel for us to give them guidance and feedback. But I'm questioning myself. I'm wondering, is the background music necessary for this video? Because it's not really jobbing for me. I mean, you're talking about F1 NASCAR, and the music that I'm hearing in the background is like some type of not some type of like R&B type, whatever it is. It ain't lining up with the actual content. That's what and where this stuff happens, like in like top formats on network shows like ESPN or whatever, when you're watching a sports show and they start getting into like number, but you get that fast-paced music that when they're going through the stats and the graph, the music lines up to what they're talking about usually. And here the music is bothering me. And again, it's probably just a nitpick on me, but I feel like the background music that he's using for this content is not lining up to the actual content itself.
Yeah, it is. Let's see.
But more so, not necessarily from a good point.
It's because, and it's part of it is just their mic sounds good. It's just they're a bit far away from it. It's a bit low. So like they're competing with the music. Both of these audio sources are not at a bad volume necessarily, but like they're kind of competing. I would make you a little bit louder or the music a little bit quieter. And yeah, it is a bit of an interesting choice in song, but it's a matter of opinions. Music's very subjective. I think the way that you're doing this content is very interesting. One thing that's been bothering me a little bit, just a little nitpick, they're not centered on the frame. and they're in front of a green screen. And so there's editing you could do to put yourself front and center. It's just kind of, it's like awkward positioning. Do you feel that way, or is that just, am I nitpicking too much?
Yeah, but the other thing that's kind of bothering me too is the fact that when he's changing scenes, like he's still in front of the scene as it changes behind him. I kind of feel like the scene should be at the forefront and we shouldn't see him when he's changing scenes and things like that. But I know that that's the way that he does the content.
So you mean
But-
B-roll like over the
Yeah.
top? Yeah.
I think the B-roll should be over the top of him because he blocked part of what's going on in the B-roll. So as a viewer, I'm like, what's going on? Like, am I missing something that he's blocking? Like, it just looked a little off to me.
Yeah, that's a good call out. As we watch through, and I kind of scrub along the timeline here, never does a video come over you as B-roll.
Nope.
It's always behind you. And I don't think this is a bad way to do videos. And now I kind of get why they're off center too, because they're trying to leave room for like the different people on the right side. So that's fine, I guess. But I think the camera changing a little bit to where it zooms in on you a little bit, to where you use B-roll shots that go over you. That's all really good stuff. That kind of helps hold people's attention. But this is akin to the shot kind of never changing. You know, we talked earlier about changing every 8 seconds.
Exactly.
Your background might be changing, but the real, like the actual footage we're seeing never changes.
Yep.
So something to be aware of there. Other than that, audio quality is good. They jumped right to the point, which is great. Love to see that. Titles and thumbnails need work. Give us a little more. Don't just tell me what was in the episode and what episode number it is. Like, what did you think of the episode? Like, tease your opinion about it. It's really like reaction content like this to TV shows, movies. It's hard to stand out. So, you know, it's going to be really important for you to front load that emotional bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, those were our pre-selected channels. Now, there are more super chats I want to talk about, and then we're going to get into random selections. You guys have been submitting on the forums down below, hopefully the correct one, and we are going to start randomly picking those channels after we talk about some super chats. So we have 123 India here who gave us a super sticker. Thank you so much. Piano Doctor, who did a couple of super chats. Do you have any advice on making interesting long-form content off of dry subjects like piano repair? Shorts are great, but I don't know what to do for long-form.
Mm-hmm. So when the content is dry, as you say, it's up to you as the creator to make it more appealing for your audience. And the way that you do that, in my opinion, is to try to relate it to something that is popular in the mainstream. In this case, Netflix released a show last year called Wednesday. It was probably the most popular Netflix show in up the past 5 years. Was there a song that played in that show that you could relate to your piano content? Can you show us how the notes for that song come together in some way? There's a lot of piano stuff playing in Wednesday, so you might be able to make that correlation. Finding a way to correlate your content to something that's trending or more popular in the mainstream is definitely a good way to turn that dry content into content that we care about. So I would say look into doing stuff like that.
There's that. And there's also, like, when I think piano repair, I think like how-to videos. And there is a point in where our advice about making a video more interesting or something doesn't always apply. And I think if you're going to be repairing pianos, what you probably don't want to do is make it a challenge video where you add stakes and storyline and things like that. Sometimes people just want to repair something and move on with their day. So knowing your, like what audience you're trying to cater to in any given video is really, really important. Sometimes your video should be a bit more dry as long as it's informative. You know, if you're really efficient at piano repair and you have really good production quality, that's what's going to make the video feel like it's not dry. Even though it's a dry subject, it's just about how much work you put into that video. So, you know, multiple camera angles and like really making sure you have high quality cameras, that because pianos have like a lot of really intricate parts. So you want to be able to get in there really nice and tight with a nice high quality camera. Those things will not go unnoticed. And you're talking about like search driven content. Someone has a broken piano, a very specific thing is broken, and now they're looking for your help.
Yeah, I just realized that I did not catch the word repair in this paragraph. So listen to Dan, don't listen to Viper.
Well, still, like if they were doing videos like outside of that, and I think they probably should, where they're just playing different songs or things like that, you're absolutely right. Like you want to make sure that you're, you know, relating to like trending topics and things like that. So yeah, it's, you know, your audience, you know what kind of content you're trying to make. So yeah. And then they have another question here. Do you have an option to schedule channel/video reviews through a vidIQ Max subscription? I would love feedback other than my parents. Sometimes, but not always, we let vidIQ Max people submit on a separate form. So like the chances of being pulled from that form go up significantly because there's way less people submitting on that form. But that's like, we still don't really like sell channel reviews. That being said, all I can say is that we definitely hear you.
Also, vidIQ Max, that community is a whole community at your disposal to do things like review your channel and your thumbnails and your videos. So use that community. I mean, again, they are all there trying to accomplish the same thing that you are, trying to get better as creators. So use them.
Stay tuned. Keep up to date with all things vidIQ. I think, especially if this is something you are interested in, you're going to want to stay tuned and keep up on all the things happening with vidIQ.
Oh, yeah.
Do y'all do this type of content you first started?
We do not understand the question.
I don't understand the question.
We don't understand the question.
I do apologize. If you re-ask it and we see it in non-super chat form, we'll try and grab it. If we manage to find it, I apologize. What do I do if I make both music and gaming videos?
Hopefully you got them on separate channels.
Unless the music videos are related to the games
related.
you play and you're making that music. I've certainly seen really talented musicians have channels that are rooted in gaming, but they're making music about the games that they play specifically. So that's the only time I'd have those in the same place. But if you're going to make music about that appeals to one audience and gaming videos that appeal to another audience, you want two separate places to do that for sure. Killing me to say this, but Charlie Day Doppelganger, I don't know if they're talking about myself. I don't know if they're talking about you. I don't know if they're talking about a person that we had on the screen.
I saw that comment a while ago when we were doing a review, but I can't remember what it was referring to. So
I don't know either. I have noticed that my hair is starting to do similar things to Charlie Day's hair. So maybe they meant me. I have no idea. But yes. Thank you for the super chat. Given the 500 character limit, would it be a good idea to have a mix of good ranking tags according to vidIQ tools and the tag with them spelling? Sorry. Can you understand that question?
Yeah. I mean, yes, but again, like we talked about earlier, tags they're not as important as they were in the past. So I would worry less about tags and worry more about what you're putting in your description. The description still matters because number one, it gives the viewer an idea of what the video is going to be about. And two, it gives the algorithm more information to put your video in the right place. So worry less about tags, worry more about what you're putting in your description. And speaking of description, Dan, doesn't vidIQ have a special tool that we have to generate descriptions, Dan?
It does. I don't have it pulled up. I'll see if I can get some real quick. But yes, one of our newer features is a description generator. Which can fill in your description for you based on just a couple of keywords. So when you go to edit your actual video description and things like that, it should be in there and you can play with it. Let's see. I could totally mess something up right now, but let's see here. Do it. So AI description generator, if we go into here, let's make up a video. Let's see. Cat eats tuna. Cat tuna. So comma separating your keywords for better results. Generate. In this viral video, a cat, I love the confidence. In this viral video, a cat eats tuna fish and the internet is in uproar. Can you solve the problem in 8 minutes? It's probably confused because of the title. It's also looking at the other stuff that's in this video. I forgot it's going to do that too. So it's a really, really good tool, I promise, but I didn't do any favors for myself changing the subject of the video, but it did its best. So you get 3 different AI generated descriptions here that you could throw in, save you a whole bunch of time. So yeah, definitely check that out.
For sure. All right, next question.
Yes. Besides YouTube Audio Library, where do you guys get your music from? Let's see. I'm guessing is what they mean. I am willing to buy if needed, but need to find free sources. Guess what?
Woo.
Check our description. We use Epidemic Sound, and we actually have a deal with them where you can save a little bit of money. It's an affiliate link, so do be sure to check that out. But yes, Epidemic Sound is where we get a lot of our music for videos and things like that.
There you go.
Could a new channel do 2 videos a day and grow faster? If they're really good videos,
maybe. The thing about doing 2 videos a day is that when you do one video, that video usually has a period of time where it will show up on people's homepages on YouTube. So, and that's where you want your videos. Like when I open up my YouTube app, that all the videos and things on there, if they're not the short feed, that is the homepage. So you want your videos there. But when you do 2 videos in a day, you knock that one video that you did earlier off of the homepage, and then the new one goes there. So you're kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face when you do 2 videos in one day. So you could try it, but you're gonna kind of handicap the first video.
So yeah, definitely quality. If you're doing 2 videos a day, I have to imagine that's a lot of work. You're going to go a lot farther, a lot faster with high quality videos. It's good when you start to have a good library of videos up. So I don't want to discourage you, especially when you're first starting, from having videos on your channel. So if someone watches one, they have more to watch. But you should still be focused in the long run for getting quality up across your channel. So take time to learn how to make better thumbnails, titles, all that stuff. Like educate yourself in all manner of video making so that you can have the best quality possible. And that's what I think you should use your time for.
Boom.
Research, all that fun stuff. This is my second channel to keep your subjects separate. Great advice. All-Star Food and Drink. There we go. I believe there's an All-Star Gaming that's spelled a similar way. So I think, there you go. Best of luck to you. Running 2 channels is a lot of work. So I do hope that, that's the right call for you. Good luck to you. Thank you for the very generous super chat. All right. We can always get back to your super chats a little bit later, but now we are going to get into randomly selecting your channels. The 2 links down below. Be sure you pick the correct one for you, fill it out, and your channel could get picked through this. The claw. The claw will do it because I can't be trusted to pick random numbers. So we have a couple different forums here. We have a non-gaming forum of 430 responses and 380 responses on a gaming forum. So I'm going to push the claw to like 450. And we're going to pick 235. We'll do the gaming side. Nostalgic and VR reviews. Okay. They said, I was experiencing some really good growth about a month ago, but it has completely flatlined. Any tips on how I can get some more growth? All right. I will interrupt this page here and we'll go to crypticcomms. Okay. Why don't we take a look at how you're doing videos here? I want to click on maybe your latest one. And we'll try to also leave you with some advice on what you might be able to do to grow.
Battlefield 4 was an absolute titan for the franchise. 10 years later, and this stellar title is still unmatched in its scope and quality. Released in 2013, I still vividly remember Battlefield 4's rough launch with very scuffed netcode and hitboxes. But today, I will be talking about how the game withstood the passage of time. The Battlefield franchise got its hooks into me.
The first question I have is, if this game is 10 years old, are people still playing it? And I have the question for a couple of reasons. I have that question because I'm kind of interested in seeing what this person has to say, but I don't know that about the game. Like, why are you making this video? And I have that question because if people are not playing it today, I genuinely don't know if they are or not, why would this video come up in people's feeds? Why would they like want to click on it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think to answer that latter question, I think it just depends on the content that the viewer is watching at that particular time. Like if they're watching stuff about Call of Duty, or maybe they're watching a video about the current Battlefield, then this is something that might pop up in their feed afterwards. Otherwise, like I agree with you. I don't know how anybody will find this content, but it has 319 views in 3 days. So clearly people are finding it.
People are finding it. It could be some of their regular viewers. I'm not really sure. I'm not here to necessarily debate that. My point is this topic relevant today? I know you're covering an old game, But it would be relevant if it was like, did you know people still play Battlefield 4? You know, and then you're talking about the game is 10 years old and this and that. So in any case, yeah, that would be, it kind of goes back to their question of like, I was doing really well and now I'm not. Like, what's happening? It makes me wonder, that's why I'm questioning this choice. It makes me wonder if they're covering topics that are relevant enough to continue showing up around different areas of YouTube.
Well, from their brief look at their channel page, there's another problem that glaringly jumped out to me. They are covering way too many different games. Like, what is the focus point here? We got Battlefield, we got Star Wars, Cyberpunk, Team Fortress 2, Elden Ring. Like, man, like Halo, bruh. I mean, these games don't really have a common theme to them, if I'm being honest with you. So it's hard for a viewer to get comfortable with you because they don't know what's going to be covered from one video to the next. So, and we all know if we can't get comfortable and familiarity with you, we kind of don't really stick around. So, even though you are consistent in covering VR aspects, the games that you're covering, like Dan said, how relevant is Battlefield 4?
When compared
going on
to Battlefront 2, are more people playing Battlefront 2 today than
like
Battlefield 4?
But hell, it got 19K views. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe Battlefront 2 still has like an active community, whereas Battlefield 4 does not.
Yeah, Battlefront 2, I think, is one of the best Star Wars games. It's highly regarded, so that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, a great thing to do is when like they remake a game. Like if they were to have recently done a remake of Battlefield 4, then you could do like a more relevant after 10 years kind of video.
Yeah, it's this Dead Space game. Is that the remake? Again, Dead Space was just remade. It was released a couple of weeks ago. So you probably should do a video on Dead Space, the remake, if you haven't started it already.
So yeah, I can see why I can see why this creator would be frustrated when you're going from thousands of views to hundreds of views like that. But I would also say, as we scroll through the channel, that's not too uncommon for them. And here's what I'll tell you. I think this is a result of covering too many topics on one channel. And I know that you probably cover these in a similar style and things like that, but when you have videos that are very spiky in views, it comes down to like in my opinion, the audience you're catering the content to. So, you know, obviously people weren't super jazzed about pod racing in VR. I see this and I'm very interested because I remember playing the pod racing game back in the N64 days. And it makes me want to like check out this video. Is there a pod racing game in VR? Is it any good? But your general audience, it just didn't really hit with them, unfortunately. But Halo 3 virtual reality, that seemed to be a bigger hit. That got over 1,000 views. So be looking for, in your analytics, be looking for things that stand out and double down on the kind of content that's working. I can tell you're trying. I mean, Dead Space after 15 years is very similar to Battlefront after 5 years. You know, you definitely made that connection. Like, oh, I'll do a video of like this game after this many years, but there's something else going on, and maybe it's just because of the community behind the game just not being as super strong. But hard to know. You would know these topics better than we do. Let's look at one of their VR videos. I want to see what this is like.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
You know that feeling you get when you finally accomplish something you set your mind to? And the satisfaction that washes over you is so joyous because you've made such great strides in life. Yeah, me neither. I play too many video games. But luckily, this fantastic game, Rumble, has tricked my brain into feeling like I am mastering a craft by playing a video game. This week, I've been playing a fighting game in virtual reality that focuses on the manipulation of rocks through very specific player movements. Rumble slowly teaches you to master earthbending in virtual reality. The practice required to get each attack to hit correctly may be a hurdle for some, but it is the key to giving Rumble such a diverse moveset and deep combat system.
Okay, it's kind of interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, this creator is amazing at the way they present things and how they present it. So I definitely like their presentation style and the way that they shoot their shots and how they move from one idea to the next. So I think they are very good in that way.
I think that's why I've been focused on the front page of their channel more so than the videos themselves, because this is the second video I've clicked on now, and I found myself watching, like, I didn't realize 40 seconds had passed. That's a really good sign. I genuinely want to know more about this game, and it looks fun. But I think their problem is the pitch. Earthbending in VR is so vague, and I know that even if that's the name of the game, like, or no, the name of the game is technically Rumble, but earthbending is just not a term a lot of people like are going to be thinking about, especially in terms of gaming. So you gotta find a new way to present the content, and it's going to be tough, especially if you're reviewing lesser known VR games, and people aren't really looking for that content. It's kind of up to you to try and figure out, like, okay, how can I present this content to an audience that might never know to look for it? So you could do Rumble review most underrated VR game in the world ? You could do, like, find games that are very popular that is similar to this one, and you could do Rumble versus that game, whatever that popular game is. But yeah, try to figure out the pitch of your content. I would say the production quality is already where it needs to be. The audio quality is good, the presentation is good, you're capturing really nice scenes, the meaning, like, the resolution is nice. So all of that is good. Like, in terms of video review, I don't have a lot of critiques. It's going to be the pitch. It's going to be trying to build that understanding of your audience. Who are you making content for? What is their identity? What do they love? What do they hate?
Yeah, I think eventually you're gonna have to try to figure out how to lock into one type of game instead of going all over the place with the games that you're covering. That might make your growth a little bit easier.
Take a look at some of the other VR channels in the space and see how they cover content too. There's a lot of really popular VR channels out there that you can kind of learn from. So definitely go out and do some searching around. How are their channels different from yours in terms of titles, thumbnails, subjects they cover? Best of luck. A very interesting space to be in. All right, let's pick a non-gaming channel from the claw. 4. Okay. We never get that low. Micah the Musician Wolf. They did not have a specific question for us. They have one video, no shorts. So I already know what my advice is going to be without even watching this video, but let's watch.
Because I don't see my old friends anymore. My love.
It took a while for the song to start there. I know that's like typical of like a music video. Wasn't sure what I was going to get there, but it is someone who's like made an original song. So in terms of production quality, like the shots, everything looked really good. All that looked good to me. I don't know if you have any critiques there.
No, not there. No.
For me, looking at the channel, here's what I'm going to say. Music channels, now is your opportunity because of YouTube Shorts. Take the chorus of your song, take the bit that's the most catchy, and turn it into a short. Make it 15 seconds, 30 seconds, get people addicted to your music that way, because that is going to be a game changer. YouTube Shorts are presented to people who did not ask to see them. Individual shorts are.
Yep.
So music channels have been asking us for years, how do I grow? How do I grow? Music is an incredibly hard space to be in. But I've seen it where music channels can like have a huge opportunity if they use YouTube Shorts. So every time you make a song, I want you to make a short based on that song. And you already have the video to accompany it. That's great. Do shorts. Do long form too, but do shorts. That's my advice to you.
Yeah, the other thing is that when you're not doing the YouTube short, you have to figure out how to get more people into the door per se with your videos. And unfortunately, because we don't know who you are yet, creating original thoughts and just putting them on YouTube is not going to get you much traction. You're gonna have to figure out how to relate your music to more popular artists, just so we can get people in to see what you can do. So that might be maybe doing a cover of a popular song, or maybe doing some music that is related to a popular artist, or maybe there's a meme out there that has a popular song attached to it, or whatever you got to do to get people into your channel. That is what you're gonna have to do. But I would agree with Dan in the aspect of you should definitely be playing around with YouTube Shorts and getting your music out there.
So there you go. It's difficult to review a channel when I only have one video. So keep going. Keep making content. All right. Let's go ahead and pick a gaming channel. 319. Right. They are a Minecraft channel. Why getting views from Shorts feed is so strange? We're all asking the same question.
I'm just going to sit back and let Dan do his thing.
We are all asking the very same question. I have no good answers for that question. So it looks like you've made a long form video in a while, and you've made some shorts. Some of them gotten some pretty decent views. Let's see the latest one. I'm going to go ahead and mute it because it looks like you're just using some music in there. Yep. Okay, so they've built a trap for a Minecraft NPC, and they've timed it to some music. This kind of thing works on shorts really, really well, and that's great. Have they done that here? Yes, I can't play the music, unfortunately. So this is a really good strategy when it comes to shorts. Like they're wasting no time building their very interesting contraptions and traps and things like that. Best bug ever. So there you go. Time into some popular songs. That's good. Definitely keep doing stuff like that for sure. I don't have any critiques there. Video look good. Shorts are cropped properly. Kind of interesting that you've done the approach of like 4 hours of music and rain using Minecraft. You know, it has some views, but yeah, I think for you, like you're doing some very interesting stuff in shorts. So I would continue playing with those. These Minecraft, you know, the first Minecraft rain video they did has 3.4K views. So yeah, I've never seen someone do that with Minecraft before. I kind of wonder now if there's other versions of that you could do. You tried it again in music and rain, but are there? I can't remember if Minecraft has other weather patterns. Do the caves make really interesting noises these days? Maybe you could like, you know, plop yourself in a cave for a few hours and make a video that way. You know, that's pretty interesting.
I thought Dan was asking me like, bro, don't ask me. I've never played Minecraft. Don't ask me, bro.
I haven't played in so long. I know they had a big cave update. I never played. So I don't know if things have changed, but yeah, if there's other ambience in the game now, you should explore all of those options. I don't know. Nothing but good things to say. Just make more videos. I don't know if you had anything to add before we move on.
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. 74 on the non-gaming form.
So for those of y'all in the chat asking how do you get your video reviewed, there are two forms in the description of this live stream. Fill out the appropriate one. One is gaming form, one is a non-gaming form. Fill it out, and you might get your channel randomly selected by the claw.
All right. So we have Scofield Studios. Hope I'm saying that right. Just under 300 subscribers, and they are reviewing popular movies. I suppose we should check out the latest one.
Ant-Man film has just come out, and the fourth one is already being rumored, so here's my ranking of all three of the Ant-Man films from worst to best. In third place is easily Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Even though I don't think this is necessarily a bad film, it's definitely the most flawed film in this trilogy.
So 15 seconds in, and I gotta tell you, for me, it's going to be an audio quality issue. The microphone here, not sure what it is. It's clipping a little bit. It doesn't sound great, and I'd be working to improve that as soon as possible. What about you?
Can we go back and play the first few seconds again real quick?
The third Ant-Man film has just come out, and the fourth one is already being rumored, so here's my ranking of all three of the Ant-Man films from worst to best. In third place...
Yeah, it sounds like you are in a room with no sound treatment. I mean, depending on what your financial situation is, there's not really going to be a way around that. But yeah, you're gonna have to do something about the microphone quality. You just might have to get a better microphone. You might want to consider looking into what they call a dynamic microphone, which kind of blocks out the room around you. So look into that. But yeah, I love the intro. He got into the video almost immediately. I love the fact that he delivered on a click instantly. Like that's a lost art these days. And yeah, it looks like you. I mean, this video in particular, there's no emotional context. It's just you ranking the Ant-Man movie. So I mean, that is what that is. So yeah, as far as the video production, I besides the microphone, I don't have any issues.
Title thumbnail wise, one thing that a lot of content creators do in all different spaces on YouTube is the tier list. And I kind of feel like thumbnail wise, it was a bit of a missed opportunity, even though it'd be a pretty lame tier list with only 3 movies. But if you had teased it a little bit, like you blurred out what was in the top tiers, and then you took this one, since it was your worst rated one, and put it at the bottom tier, like gave it a D or an F or something, that could have been an interesting way to do the thumbnail. But the thumbnail is kind of boring to me. It just kind of looks like a different take on the movie poster. So not a lot there to like kind of get excited about. And then the title is just like Ant-Man movies ranked. You know, it's like Ant-Man movie tier list will be a little more, I think, on trend with what people have like tried in the past with that. So the other thing too is like you're doing a spoiler-free review of the new Ant-Man movie, which is great that it's a spoiler-free review. But again, title thumbnail wise, you could give a little bit of your opinion, tease a little bit of your thoughts, because that's what's going to help you stand out. Like on YouTube, what makes your channel like the most unique, right? Like there's no other yous out there, which means that adding your opinion to the title already helps it kind of stand out beyond just calling it what it is. Ant-Man review. Yeah. You know, not a whole lot there to get excited about. So I'd be thinking about that as well. But yeah, there's titles and thumbnails for this channel. That's my big advice. And then microphone. Time to get a new microphone as fast as possible.
Indeed. Absolutely.
All right. We have 1 or 2 super chats here to look at before we go on to more channels. We have from Elite Barbecue Smokers. I have long barbecue videos and live stream interviews of barbecue people. Is keeping both live streams and long form content hurting my channel, or should I separate them?
Let's see. So long barbecue videos and live stream interviews of barbecue people. I'm gonna say that the content seems to be pretty related, so it shouldn't be hurting your channel.
We keep these live streams up ourselves, you know, and the videos we make are similar, but they're nowhere near as long, and they don't always go in depth into other people's content. They're more, sometimes they're interview style. Sometimes we have a guest on and we ask them a lot of questions. Sometimes we're answering a lot of super chats more than other times. We're not really worried about it. As long as the live stream content is somewhat related to your niche, which it is, yeah, I wouldn't worry at all. I wouldn't say it's hurting a single thing. And then Fit John gave us a super chat, but just said the word critique. I'm not really sure. They might be asking if we can look at their channel, but as it says at the bottom, we cannot sell video reviews via super chats. So I do apologize for that. But thank you for the super chat. All right. If anyone else has a super chat like this one, we'll try to get to it before the end of the stream. I was able to create and monetize my shorts channel, Dating Warfare, to get it to 514 subs or 5,140 subs in amount of subscribers. It's monetized, so I'm guessing it's over 5,000 subs. Yeah. And almost 7 million total views in 3 months. All that by watching you guys. Time rewards the resilient. Thanks.
Woo. I'm talking about, man. Yeah. I mentioned it before on these live streams, though, but some of you all come in here every weekend. We love the fact that you're here. But if you're not taking what you learn from these live streams and actually applying it to your own channel, then you're wasting time. So you need to take the things that you're learning here and apply them to your own channel. Now, not everything's going to line up 1 for 1, but a lot of the things that we talk about over and over again. And those are the things that you really should be taking and applying to your own channel. And you'll see results like this person right here.
Yeah. I don't remember ever looking at this channel. So it's cool that they are sitting down, taking notes, not too bothered if their channel comes up or not. So thank you for the super chat. Thanks for sharing that with us. And yeah, we will go back to randomly selecting some channels here via the claw. What number is the claw?
Look at Steamy right here. Looking like it's picking up ornaments, man. It's looking like a bunch of ornaments over here.
We'll do 480 now. 386. All right. The gaming channels have caught up with the non-gaming channels. All right. 25,000 subscribers for this channel. When asked if they had any questions or anything, they said no, but trying to find new free games to try or try old retro games. Arabic content. It's going to be difficult for us to review this channel, I believe, because of the language barrier. However, 25,000 subscribers, thousands of views. They are looking at different games. But I mean, are these games appealing to the same audience? Hard to tell. Sometimes I'm not really sure what the game is. Let's take a look at like the quality of the content from what we can tell, but it's gonna be really difficult to say too much. There's a warning
يو السلام عليكم اخواتي اند باك تو نيو فيديو. الفيديو تاع اليوم جاي شويه ديفيرون، ما نحن نلعبوا ما نحن نديروا والو، جيت نريحو نحكيو على واحد ليدي جاتني في راسي البارح، جاتني في راسي وانا نختم في هوغورتس الشذوذ الجنسي.
So we're getting a lot of stuff out of this before we even understand what's being said. I mean, you saw the edits. Microphone quality sounds good. They're using B-roll in the form of stock footage. I don't know if you have any critiques. I think in terms of quality, this is already excellent.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. The camera quality, great. The cutting it, great. From going from clip to clip, great. Yeah, I don't have any critique.
How are they doing their end screens?
علاج العفسه هذيك كانوا عندي شويه ديزيدي بزعتهم حطيتهم فوق الطابله نظموهم انتم كيما بغيتوا. بالك نقعد سمانه ما نديرش فيديو، الله غالب عندي شويه شغالات هكذا نفريهم. See you in the next one. تهلاو لي في رواحكم. Peace.
I caught see you in the next one. That's interesting. So they did not push to another video. Just a quick tip for you. You can absolutely use your outro to point to an end screen video that's similar to the one we just watched. So it's just a way to get some more views. You know what I mean? Like people are going to stay in your channel longer if you tell them, hey, you should watch this video next because reason. So yeah, just a practice that you could kind of put in there. I think the thumbnails are a very high quality. Obviously I can't read the text, but I can tell that the text is very bold and easy to read. It stands out. At 25,000 subscribers, thousands of views, I'd say this channel is definitely doing something right. The last bit of advice, take a look at the videos that are working better than other ones, because I can tell you are covering a lot of different games. Some are working better than others. So try to use your data to identify what games are working for your audience and what games are not, and double down on the ones that are working more.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, thanks for submitting. I know we can't go too in depth for you, but I do hope that was helpful nonetheless. Let's take a look at the next non-gaming channel. And then we'll look at some of these super chats because we got a bunch. Thanks everybody, by the way, for your super chats. 332. Okay. This documentary is gaming. I'm going to double check to see if this is a gaming channel submitting on the wrong form, or if they're doing documentaries about video games, but it's not like gameplay content. Okay. It might be the latter. Let's see.
In our last episode, we worked our way through Tier 8 of the complete video game console Iceberg. So let's drop down to Tier 9, where I can almost guarantee there's at least 1 or 2 systems on this tier that you've never even heard of.
This is like on the line for me for traditional gameplay content, so we will definitely check out this channel. But yeah, we want to make sure you guys are submitting on the correct form. This one could have probably submitted on either, and you know, either would have been okay. Let's keep watching.
And I hope you'll learn a little something from the video. It's starting to get insanely difficult to find old commercials and print media, and sometimes even pictures, but I'm determined to bring you at least a brief history of every single video game console ever made. So let's just get right into it and take a deep dive into Tier 9, starting with one of the very first home video game consoles ever made, the Bandai TV Jack. The Bandai TV Jack 5000 is a first-generation video game console released in 1978. It was sold at...
It's pretty interesting. What do you think?
Okay. The content is interesting. Again, as I told you guys earlier, I've been playing games since the OG Nintendo, but obviously I was not alive in 1978, so I have never even heard of the TV Jack thing until now. I have one question though, and maybe I'm not the only one who's thinking this. Let me know, Dan, and let me know in the chat if you guys are thinking this question as well. You're going through the tiers, and you got like, we're on Tier 9. But how did you decide the tiers? Like, how did you decide what goes in which tier? That's what I was wondering. Like, how do we come to the composition of a different tier of tier 9? Like what did he call what is the criteria, the qualification for how you constructed your tiers? I need that context so I can better understand what you're trying to present to me. But other than that, I don't really have a problem with it.
I agree, and I think the reason they did it, I think they've been doing this for a while. It's like an ongoing series, and so this episode is like tier 9, and that's why it's 9 in the thumbnail.
Yep.
But I would have rather seen the years next to the consoles rather than the tiers. I don't feel like by episode 9, I don't feel like it matters too much to me. You know, like I don't, and it's kind of weird also, by the way, to start at the top tier, like the best consoles, the ones everyone's heard of, and then end on the worst ones, in your opinion, I guess, the ones no one's heard of.
Oh, okay. So that's how you decide the tiers. Okay. But if I'm a viewer just finding this video, I don't know that unless I look at this entire channel.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they guaranteed themselves with this series less views with every video rather than more, since they started what I would say is backwards. You started at the top tier. You should always do your tier lists from worst to best, especially if you're going to break them up over episodes, because now, like, your first one did great. Like, for a first video on YouTube, what a fantastic turnout. But you kind of repeated the thumbnail strategy for every single one after that. And almost each one anyway, got a little bit worse with few exceptions. So I think you've set yourself up here for, a little bit of failure, because you started so, long ago, or you started so new, and then you're going back to so long ago.
And also, then I think it goes back to something that you always say. When you get down there in the lower tiers of video game systems, you are out aging most of the demographic on YouTube. So they don't know what these systems are, and they probably don't care. So if Dan would love to say, there's no relevance there. Like, why would somebody care about a TV Jack that was even before my time? Again, I've never heard of that thing until today. So if we're into the game, for the people that are in the game today, they probably don't, unless they're hardcore historians like you are, they probably don't care about the TV Jack or a documentary or history about the TV Jack, because it was just so far before their time.
I think for this channel, this is exhaustive work here, right? They even said it in the intro of their last video, like, to find all this research. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, props. Super cool. If I were you, I would be trying to repurpose this content into many, many different videos. Each console, I think you could do probably a whole mini documentary on. And what you need to do is, instead of leading with what it was actually called, if you feel like no one's ever heard of this console, then fine, good, still make a video on it, but try to find a new way to pitch it. Compare it to something modern, compare it to something someone can relate to, and talk about its capabilities. Talk about how it had, like, 40-year-old game console had the best games ever. Just try to find language that people are going to relate to if and when you do break these down into, like, their own individual consoles. So let's see, you never see these video game systems, ultra rare Japanese video game consoles. Like, your titles are really good. I'm saying keep that trend up if you decide to do what I'm suggesting, which is, like, come back to these consoles individually. I think the reason they started at the top and they're working their way down is because they wanted to, it's an iceberg, so they wanted to start top of the iceberg, and it's cute, but it didn't do them any favors. So I do hope they can take all their research and footage they found and use it in different ways, because I think there are opportunities here.
There you go.
All right. We will check out. That was a non-gaming channel, right, from the non-gaming forum. So we'll go back to the gaming forum. 372. All right. They want to improve their titles, engage better with their community. All right. It is Willow playing a few different things. Looks like some Roblox. Oh, I think it's probably all Roblox. All right. Let's check this out.
Easy obby parkour. Yes, you can't hear any game audio because it's copyrighted music and you can't turn it off, which is really stupid. Doing, doing. Whoa, it's mad. Don't know what's mad, but something's mad. Seems easy.
I've turned the volume all the way up.
Why are you whispering?
Can't hear anything.
Right? Why is she whispering? I don't understand it.
Yeah. Not only are they whispering, but they just kind of started playing this game without any hook, any kind of introduction.
No context.
No context at all.
Nope.
There's a lot of games in the Roblox community. I don't know which one this is. I don't know what the point of it is. I am left completely in the dark. So that's your biggest thing you need to be working on. If you want to build community, that can happen naturally over time. It's about making videos that people want to watch. And right now, it's kind of hard to continue because the problems to us, I feel like, are kind of obvious. There's not enough. I'll say this. To put yourself out there and get a microphone and do voiceover, you're already doing a lot of things a lot of gaming creators who watch this channel won't do. Like, we get questions all the time, like, can I have a gaming channel without ever getting a microphone? And we're like, not really. So you have a microphone and you're putting yourself out there, and I think that's great. But I think you got to practice more. I think you really got to sit down and practice finding your voice, quite literally, and being very loud and excited, and just it's incredible because you're playing this game. And tell us what you're doing. Give us. I don't want you to do an intro that's like stating the obvious, but give us a hook. Tell us what the stakes are in this video. Why are you playing this today? Like, what are we going to get out of this? We're kind of missing all of that with the commentary we're getting right now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching like an ASMR video.
Yeah, Roblox ASMR. That's the critique. I don't know what else to say because that's already a lot of homework. So I do think practice makes perfect. I think you're doing a lot of creative, clever things with your titles and thumbnails. I'm going to say you've probably been practicing that aspect of YouTube for quite a while. And judging by some of the older titles and thumbnails, I'd say I'm probably right. So that's good. Now it's time to work on the actual production aspect of your content. When people click, we want them to stay. We don't want them to leave.
There you go. Indeed.
All right. We got some more super chats here.
We do.
Advice on dealing with hate/sexist comments.
Yes. Firstly, I am so sorry that you're going through this. I've seen a few of my female friends that have gone through dealing with this stuff. But here's the thing, and we all, as creators, we all go through the toxic negative Nancy's and the toxic comments. You cannot give them a voice. And what I mean by that is you can't respond to them, because if you respond to them, you are giving them the attention that they are seeking. Because a lot of times they're seeking attention, and you'll even get the comment like when you respond to them, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you responded," blah blah blah. Because again, they're looking for attention. So ignore them. Do not give them the attention, because that attention is the literal fuel that keeps their fire going. So you just ignore them and act like they don't exist. Eventually, they'll get tired of talking into the wind, and then they'll go away.
One thing you could do is set up very aggressive word filters.
Yep.
I was dealing with this myself recently. I'm not going to get into any details here, but there were words being used in my comments that on their own would not be words that are bad, but I made the decision to ban them anyway because the way they were being used would have been hurtful to other viewers of my channel. So what that's going to do is filter your comments into the void. You can find them if you want to. Never read held for review. Just don't click there. Don't do it. I would be very, very aggressive with your word filters. I know that's not the best solution, but it is a solution. It's something you can do. If you're live streaming, empower your moderators to act first and ask questions later. Very aggressive moderation. Anyone who's there to cause trouble, kick them out. Don't give them a second chance. Goodbye. And like Viper said, don't feed the trolls. There are no good answers to this problem. All we can do is keep pressuring these different platforms to try to give us as many moderator tools as they possibly can. And YouTube is doing that. Other sites are doing that too. They just updated some of their moderator tools very recently, in fact. So if you do have moderators in your channel, they actually have more control than they used to. They can actually do things now like turn on and off slow mode and things like that if you give them that power. So look into all the different community settings that you have access to and just be hyper aggressive. You will lose, if you're really aggressive with word filters, you will lose some very genuine comments. But at the end of the day, that's better for your mental health, in my opinion, than letting the hate comments come in at the expense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's kind of a trade-off.
Indeed.
No great answers. I am very sorry that's happening. That was my second channel. Thank you, Dan and Viper. You both do excellent work. Very appreciated. Thank you, All-Star Gamer. Best of luck to you on your channels. Thanks for another super chat. Appreciate you. Shelly says, been posting videos, but what are the reasons to have live streams for our channels? Should we wait until we get monetized before making live streams? Not if you want to.
So glad
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to go on a limb and say that Dan and Rob have been doing live streams long before I got here because they enjoy engaging with you all, their community. And that is really the big reason why you want to live stream as a creator. Yeah, you can kind of do that with the normal videos and the comments and different things like that, but that's not one-to-one interaction. What we do here weekly with vidIQ and what other creators do who live stream is we are literally having that one-to-one real-time interaction with our community. You all can ask questions, you can interact, we can do polls. Live streaming is just a different animal. It's a different beast. It may or may not grow your channel depending on how you use it and how you implement it into your strategy, but it will help you as a creator establish a bond with your community. That's why you see a lot of TikTokers live streaming, because by the very nature of short form content, it's kind of hard to build that bond with your community. But then, like I said, you see a lot of TikTokers and short form creators do live streams so they can build that bond that's not possible by doing that normal short form video. So that is why we live stream.
Live streams, as you are monetized and you create memberships and stuff like that, that can be a huge revenue driver for your channel. I'll say for sure, like channels that I've live streamed in the past have made way more money live streaming than doing other things, shorts, for example. So yeah, live streams are good for all aspects. They do count towards monetization goals. So if your goal is to be monetized and you're waiting to be monetized before you live stream, that is the wrong way to do it. I'd say if you have ideas for live streams, start live streaming right away, because that is going to get you to monetization faster. And that's what we want for you.
Fact.
They're not for everybody, but if you have ideas, definitely use live streams. So best of luck. My main live stream got ad limited except for Assassin's Creed games. Why does that happen? I don't.
Did you get on some game publisher bad side?
Ad limited. What is the? Yeah, ad limited means you might be doing something that YouTube does not like. Maybe you're swearing a lot, especially in the first 30 seconds of your video. Hard to know without looking at the content.
Or you're using content that don't belong to you. Maybe that might be something to do with that too.
Yeah, if you're playing games that the developers do not want people playing on their channels, that's kind of rare these days, but they might be out there. Without looking at the channel, it's really, really, really hard to know what's going on. But normally there is an explanation somewhere. You could, if you are a partnered channel on YouTube, you do have access to like a YouTube help center in your YouTube studio. It's kind of at the top there on the right side. So you could try and contact support and see what's up. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not a lot of great answers we can have for you here.
Yep.
Should I remake the first tutorial? My first tutorial, now that I'm better at making them, yes. And can doing better. Oh, and can do better to help my audience avoid it, to not waste an upload. Sorry.
If it's irrelevant, yes, you should remake it.
Yes. I don't know what wasting an upload means. You're not limited. I like when I have an extra upload. If it's something you feel like could be like easy to do because you've done it before, I like that. I like having an extra video. I get to kick back after that. So it's never a waste. But yeah, remake it. Always remake your tutorials. And as time goes on, a lot of sometimes you miss details. Sometimes things update, games especially. So there's always a reason to kind of make those again. How do I get my Insta followers to follow my YouTube?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be hard. The thing about people is that whatever platform that they are on, that's the platform they want to be on. They don't really want to jump from platform to platform. But what you can do is you can kind of tease a video, kind of like a short creator try to do on YouTube, but you can make an Instagram reel and then kind of tease them with like the person you've been into the video. And then maybe at the end of the reel and say, if you want the full video, go to YouTube. Although I don't know if I would recommend doing that, but that is something that you can try.
That's, yeah, probably the best answer there. Be consistent on Instagram and YouTube. Like, try and make those things similar in both cases. And that's when people do finally like see you on YouTube, they're like, oh, that's that person I follow on Instagram, you know? So as long as there's like some consistency there, that's the best way to go. Same with making shorts on the same channel as your long form content. You want it to be similar. And we got one more here. Is there a target retention percentage to aim for? What's a bad retention value or a good value?
It really just depends on the length of the video, to be honest with you. Short creators, like Dan mentioned earlier, they are generally targeting 100% or more, because that means people watch your short over and over again. If it's not a short, let's say if maybe a 3-minute video, I think YouTube says maybe 70% retention on a 3-minute video is ideal. But again, it really just depends. There's no set number for good retention. Just as long as you're trying to make the best video possible as a creator, I would just let the retention stuff take care of itself.
Yeah, I do think people have people out there have different ideas on retention and like what you can do like to make sure you're always aiming high. I'll show you this. I noticed this the other day. I did not know this about this video, but this video I did months ago has 84% average view percentage. It's over 4 minutes long.
Dang.
As you can see, it's exceptionally high compared to our average.
Wow.
So it really got me thinking, like, wow, like what the heck happened here? So this is where I would start to study what I did differently in this outro or intro versus, you know, other ones. It looks like the middle of the video had a bump here. So people are like rewatching this bit. So a lot of things here for me to learn from in this video. And the shame is that I didn't do a great job with the title and thumbnail because it just didn't get the reach that it probably quote unquote deserved, because once people actually chose to watch it, they stuck around. But the reason I want to show you this too is because this gray bar here at the bottom half of the graph, that's your average. On YouTube, what you really want to be doing is competing against yourself, not necessarily other creators and other standards. You just want to look to improve. So this to us represents an improvement from our average, and quite a significant one. So that's what makes me proud of this video. Like, there was an improvement in retention, not necessarily that I hit some metric that someone said, oh, you have to hit at least this. If you get 40%, try aiming for 45, 50%. If you get 50%, try aiming for 55, 60%. Just try to find ways to improve incrementally. Always be competing against yourself on YouTube. In all aspects of YouTube, try not to worry too much about what's going on around you.
Yep.
And with that, there is one announcement I have for you guys. Oh, wait a minute. We got another super chat real quick. Is it worth privating old irrelevant videos before you're monetized? If they're not relevant and bringing in the wrong viewers, yes. But I'd say if they're just kind of chilling, let
them be.
Leave it. Thank you for all your super chats. So quick programming announcement. I talked about this earlier. This will be, for now, the last video review live stream we do on a Wednesday. However, you will still see us live on Tuesdays doing channel reviews at a new, earlier time. That time is going to be 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. I believe that's 3 p.m. GMT. So I know that is quite a bit earlier than these streams would normally start. On Wednesdays, we're going to be testing out doing a video rather than a live stream. So that's the big programming announcement. Still live streams on the channel. Those are still happening. You can still get your channels picked. We'll still be checking out, in some cases, your videos. We'll be checking out thumbnails, titles, doing all that stuff every single week, as we've been doing, but once instead of twice a week now. And we're going to try that for a bit. So that's the programming announcement. It is, it is early. We appreciate that that's not going to work for everybody, but just know we do keep these streams on the channel after they're concluded. And as we're always telling you guys, take some notes, watch these streams. Guess what? You guys get to watch this at ×2 speed. If you can't make it live, you have that benefit at least. So even if it's not your channel on the screen, there's always a benefit to sitting down and getting some education. We keep those up for you. And if you want to know if your channel's been reviewed in the past, we have a doc in the description below. You can click on that. You can see if your channel is in there. You can see other channels, other types of channels that have been audited in the past. We have chapters now. Our community manager is doing a fantastic job at making sure these are as high quality as they can be. So shout out to Vicky for that. That's it. That's the big announcement. Last Wednesday stream for a bit. Tuesday streams back, obviously, next week on Tuesday.
Yep. Been a pleasure rocking with you all and critiquing all you all videos. I appreciate you all supporting the idea. But yeah, hope to see you guys in future live streams, and be sure to interact with us on social media. And yeah, check out the podcast too. It's called Tube Talk, available on all major podcast outlets. So other than that, hope you all enjoy your Wednesday.
Jackie, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Look out for new vidIQ content very, very soon. And I will stumble through and say some words while I find this outro image. This one right here. See you, everybody.